Welcome to the fourth installment. Essentially, the Moss Empire, which is like this world's equivalent to the Mongolian Empire. Essentially, they are having many victories in the sea. The Till is successfully holding them off. Tensions in the old world are in this area. Why am I circling it? You won't be able to see my thing. Essentially, this area, the bit I'm zooming into, a little bit that sticks off from mainland Egypt. Well, that's what it is in this world. This it. Essentially, this bit, it's much tension for the nations of the old world. Cree, List, Irai, and Urn. The Skarn Empire is starting to lose territory in Scandinavia. So let's look at the tree. They're starting to expand. Let's go over to the Moss Conquest right now. The Empire of Helmia is starting to be pushed back to the wall. Helmia might just be the first country the fall not to be removed by being actually invaded. Peace by the remnants of Helmia was made. The Kree Empire and the Dust Empire. The Kree is holding off, but the Dust has started collapsing. The left is neutral in this situation. The Ye is started falling. Now look at the Kree. They're so when the Ye has just fallen, look at that. The first nation to fall was the Ye. We're gonna call the city Yegrad as sort of like a tribute to the nation of the Yegrad. Now look at the Kree. They used to be like a sort of great empire. Now look at them, they're like Turkey now. Reluctantly, they would peace out, war-torn, economy almost collapsing. The Moss Empire now controls the majority of the world. In previous videos, we were talking about hundreds and hundreds of years, but all of this happened in the course of 15 years. The Moss Empire broke away from the West, they expanded, they even beat the empire that created them. The Soul Empire started collapsing. Now essentially, this is the boundary of the empire. They are potentially going to make the biggest mistake of their life, hitting the less. They know if they can get access to the old world, then they can gain an empire. The conquest into the dust is going great. It's only a little personally, as for some reason the Less Empire was actually holding out much longer than they expected. Eventually, the leader of this empire, the Moss Empire, let's just call him Moss. Let's just call him the Great Moss. The Great Moss, he is on a horse, right? He's around the Yegrad area. He's able to defeat the Kree and do a final blow to the state of Helmia. Then an arrow hits his horse, right? He falls, breaks his leg. Essentially, he dies, right? Now the thing is, he had very, very many children. The Great Moss Empire, which once had territories all around Eurasia, it has fallen. The Norse Empire is no more. The Great Empire ceased to reign. Now look at that. You see the Norse Empire, which is like the Mongol Empire, Mongolia, ancient era Genghis Khan in our world. If you look at this empire, the Norse Empire, it started collapsing on itself because well, all the leaders of the older area, they declared their own little canny. But in this world, it's not canny, it's mossy, like the Norse Empire. The mossy conquer Eurasia. But it's not just the Great Mossy, it's several little mossy in the east, the west, even the central area. It is unknown why this happened, but the Norse Empire was still in anarchy and in mourning from the passing of the Great Moth. The Great Moth Empire was no more. My idea is that the Great Moth Empire lived on for a couple more years as a declining power. Now look at the Moth Empire. They are weakening. Essentially, this is the Green Moth, the White Moth, the Red Moth, and of course, not every state that broke away was a moth state. I'm just saying that some states that broke away were not moth states. They decided, hey, we don't like this moth guy. He's dead now. We can think our own way. Essentially, some rebel, some still like the great moth. They even make our own thing. They call it Mothism. The Moth Empire, it collapsed in, let's just say, 402 BE. My idea is that Alanskin, not Alan, Alanism is the sort of Christianity of the world. So essentially, the Iras Empire transformed. The Lipo Empire, and Inovan, I like the name of that. So look at the Moss Empire, it's collapsed in on itself. It's in a state of decline. Potential partition might begin. If you look at the history of the Moss Empire, you can actually see that the Moss Empire started in decline way before the Great Moss just till the end for the once glorious empire. So if you look at the Empire, they declare war on the White Moth, hoping that they can gain some land. They are unsuccessful in this campaign. Now look at that. All the morsels in this area are contained in the Morse, right? Now, of course, the original Morse Empire, the Great Morse's son-in-law, because he had loads of biological children, but his biological son formed the Red Morse. His son-in-law, at the age of 7, he rises to the position of the Great Morse. Well, of course, he's quite young. He can't do a lot, like tie his shoes. Did they even have shoes in that day? Probably not. Can he do whatever the equivalent of tying his shoes is in that day? Like, essentially, great. He has a regency council, like, you know, what's the name of it? Last Tsar of Bulgaria. He's actually still alive, even though he was like 3 when he got into the throne. Shout out to him, by the way. Essentially, the Morse Empire, it collapsed, and the Red Morse claims quite a lot of territory. The Nen Empire, which is like a version of like a Constantinople Empire, the Skin Empire, they control quite a lot of land. We're going to call them the Sphe. Of course, this empire collapsed. Yeah. This empire is the Yell. The Sphe, the Yell, Foxmere. All great countries. Essentially, Foxmere is the country that controls the small region. It's like Switzerland. There's no reason for it existing, but it exists. You just have to look at that. Now look at Yeagrad, right? Yeagrad. That is a great one. Yeagrad is the city that is independent. Krai owns that, and yeah, it's independent. The Yeagrad Empire is essentially the Ye Empire. No, not Emma. The Ye Empire. The Ye Empire, it's like the successor to the state conquered. The state that's conquered, the Ye. Now, if you look at the demographic in the world, it's quite chaotic. The Nen Empire, it's not doing it. Actually, they see the glory of the great empire in the east. Essentially, they've seen the glory of the Morse. So they decide, hey, we can do that, and launch an invasion of most of their neighbours. I'm not sure they're going to win. Just to be safe. Now look at the Nen Empire. They get aid from the Krai, which lost territory to the Green Morse. Of course, the Morse is still in anarchy from the final war. So the Morse Empire breaks into several smaller states. It still exists, but it's weakened. Sort of like the Roman Empire, it existed as the papal state for a while. And this blooming Vatican City. Look at Vatican City, it's tiny. It's a teeny empire. Place a good name, and no, we are not keeping that name. We are going to change it to the Grey Morse. The once Great Morse, it makes peace with the only country surrounding Pakistan and Myth. Now look at Eurasia. But goodbye for this video.